Oh, hi everybody! It looks as though we are live now. It's 12 o'clock, at least on the East Coast here, and this is a new live and Q&A session with me, France. I'm so glad you guys can make it. So I need to inform you right away that there's always a little bit of a delay between the moment that I get your questions and comments to the moment that I can answer them. I just took out something from the side here for a second, but we'll get to it. So, hi everybody. Tell me where you're from. I'll see. Oh my gosh, Alberto is from Spain. I have Anne in California. So happy you're here, Anne. Raul from DR. Oh my gosh, the Dominican Republic. And Miami, of course. Ute from Germany. I recognize some names. Some of them are new, and that's great because it's always good that new people can take the time to do this with us. So we are here, and this is going to be about an hour. I'm going to draw, and hopefully some of you can also grab a piece of paper and draw along with me. Oh my goodness, Jean-Pierre, yes, you're here, Jean-Pierre Welch. Now, the reason why it's really nice that Jean-Pierre is here is because Jean-Pierre is going to be our muse today, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute. Mathieu Benoit from Quebec, Alexandra from Florida, Kentucky Rick, I'm so glad you can make it, VC from Montreal. Oh my gosh, this is great. Tell me where you're from as you're coming in. I absolutely love knowing where you're from. So I'm going to start by showing you quickly the context of this live drawing, which is my class Drawing with France, the Beard edition. So I'm going to show you the Beard class introduction, and then we'll be right back here. So I'll be right back. Are you ready? There we go. Hi, I'm France Van Stone. I'm a French-American self-taught artist, and in this new class, we are going to explore ways to make beards fun to draw. In lesson 1, we are going to do a lot of pencil, and it will be substantial. In lesson 2, we are going to draw with a pen. And in lesson 3, we are going to focus on exercises and practice. We will meet at Sketchy Art School, where you'll be able to share your work, discuss, get feedback, and connect with other students. I will also be hosting a live broadcast, which will be an opportunity to answer questions and draw with you in real time. So grab your pens and your pencils, and let's draw beards. And we are back. So, as you saw, we are most likely going to draw a beard today, right? But not just a beard, of course. Our muse is Jean-Pierre. And as I'm seeing in the comments, Jean-Pierre, you are in New Jersey? Wow, because that's where I am. Yeah, I'm in New Jersey also. So my reference photo, my muse, I am going to put Jean-Pierre right there on the side so that you can see him. There, okay, so there he is. I really love this kind of photo because it's challenging for so many reasons. You know, there's the angle of the face, not only like this, but kind of, you know, like a 3/4, and we can have a lot of fun with that. There's also enough contrast in this photo that yeah, we're going to be able to have fun. All right, so if you haven't signed up for any one of my classes, you know that you can do so by looking underneath this video and seeing the link to all my classes on Sketchy. There's also some new some news. Oh my gosh, Zach is here too. Oh my gosh, former students. This is great. Hi, Zach from New Jersey. So underneath you can see that we've started something new at Sketchy Art School, which is the Drawing with France group. There's a link underneath this video for that too. And what this does is it takes you to basically a place in Sketchy Art School where you, who are taking classes with me or who want to take classes with me, you can meet with other students who are also building a drawing habit, a daily drawing habit, and share your work. And it is based on my particular classes. But this is going to be a good place for us to chat. I'll be there too, and definitely looking forward to seeing you right there in that new spot called Drawing with France. So if you want to join it, you don't have to be in any of my classes yet to join it, but you can join it by looking at the link underneath this particular video here on YouTube. Okay. So, Jean-Pierre is there. He is right there to our side, and I hope you can see him fairly well. What I decided to do in order to start as quickly as possible, because sometimes with the chatting on those live and Q&As, I get so distracting that I can't even finish a drawing. You've seen that before. So I decided to get a little bit of a head start right a few minutes before we started this session. Hi, Marianne. Where are you, Marianne Glazer? I wonder where you guys are from. I know Jean-Pierre is from New Jersey. But where is everybody from? I want to know that. Okay, so I'm going to flip now, and you're going to see my paper, which is far more interesting when it comes to drawing. So here we are. So I've got Jean-Pierre here. I started just a few minutes ago with this '09 lead holder, which holds an H lead, which is fairly hard, which means it's going to go on very lightly because it is hard. So, and also I need to talk to you about the paper that I'm using, because you guys, I swear by this paper. This is a Canson, right? And I promise you I don't do this because it's made it's actually a French brand. It's made in the US, but it's a French brand, Canson. I love this particular one because it's a cream color. It's got a little bit of texture, just a medium type of texture, and it really makes for some really great drawing experience. So take a note of this. It's fairly thick too. Okay, so Marianne from Mississippi. Woohoo! Oh, this is great. And yes, Alexandra Giraldo, I am putting your comment up here. Will this video stay recorded to watch later? Absolutely. You will get the recording and you can watch this non-live, okay? I have more people from the Dominican Republic and from Wyoming. This is great. And Rick, I so appreciate the fact that you can make it too from where you are. So I did this quote-unquote pre-sketch with a very light lead, but I'm going to switch away from that because, you know, sketching at this kind of hardness, really, it doesn't show much, especially on video. So here's what I'm using today. I'm going to use a 2B lead graphite. And this is one of my favorite things to do. It's very versatile. It goes dark very quickly, especially when the paper has a little bit of texture like this one. There's a little bit of a tooth to this paper that I absolutely love. So, oh my gosh, Jan, you're from the state of Washington. Okay. And Lisette, a Dominican living in New York. This is great. And hello from the UK. My goodness, this is great. So, Alexandra, to answer your question, yes, you can watch this non-live later. And I would like to remind you that there is a little bit of a delay between what I see here on the screen and what you guys get. It's only a few seconds, but it's significant. So if you don't get to see my answer right away, it's because of that delay, okay? All right, so as always, I like starting with the dark areas of a face, right? Okay, so let's see. I think that those eyebrows are definitely what's the darkest. Do you agree, everybody? Are you drawing with me? By the way, oh, can you tell me if you're drawing with me? Anne, are you drawing along? Yes? I say yes as if I was certain that you were. I hope you are. So since I already did a little bit of guideline, I'm feeling a little safer putting in the dark values on, okay? All right. How's everybody doing today? Okay? We're having a mix of sunny and not so sunny here in New Jersey. It's very, I don't know. Weather is changing, guys. I had a sweater earlier. Okay. Going along, kind of changing my proportions a little bit, I'm noticing. Okay. I love faces at this angle. I don't know about you guys, but it's always a nice challenge when somebody is not looking straight into the camera and just took, a selfie like this. Aha, Marcel, you are here from Belgium. I believe, Marcel, you told me last time that you were in Bruges. Could it be? Am I remembering right? Or was it Ghent? Okay. Oh, Ute. Yeah, it is a small reference photo. I'm sorry. Let me put your comment up. So Ute Oberreiter, you are using the reference photo in the corner, which is kind of small, but I hope that you can do it along. If you go back in the comments a little bit, Ute, the link to the photo was posted by Sketchy. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, Sketchy, for doing that. Okay, so I'm starting. I'm right-handed, right? So it is always more comfortable for me to start a drawing with the western part of the face and then move east as I go. Um, and Alexandra, you're asking me, do I trace beforehand? Absolutely not. I never trace. Although it could be helpful for a lot of people, I do not put down tracing. I'm sure that there's a lot you can learn from it. No, it's not tracing. What I do is I do a quick, loose drawing beforehand with H. This is my H lead that I use in this particular lead holder. So it's loose and it's, I mean, not exactly accurate at first, but the accuracy comes in later as I bring in the darker lead. So yeah, no tracing there, Alexandra. And again, not something that I mind other people do. I'm sure it would help other people. I've never used that technique. Okay, so we are, and same on the iPad, by the way. I never put my photo underneath what I draw. Doesn't work for me. All right. I'm moving into the darker areas of my portrait right away. Trying not to screw up my proportions too badly. Okay, this is fairly dark here by the nose. Fairly dark. Probably not doing this exactly right. I should probably come back here. Oh, I'm using this little eraser that I love. It's called Tough Stuff. Have you ever seen this? So this is an eraser stick. It's by Papermate. If you could get your hands on those, they're amazing. Look, it's got that much eraser at the tip, so it works. Rick is asking who is ready for Inktober. You know who is not ready for Inktober? Myself, because I get so stressed by having to draw something with one prompt a day that I sometimes would rather stay the whole month of October in bed, to tell you the truth. But again, it's a practice that can be good for a lot of people. It's just for me, I have enough on my plate. that I don't necessarily need Inktober to remind me to draw. Because I would love to be able to draw more most of the time. So, no, Rick, I'm not ready for Inktober so much. Yeah, no. It's gonna be a lot of pencil for me for the next few days. What are you doing for Inktober, Rick? You doing anything special? I should do an ink Rick very soon. Okay, we are nearing the nose, which is always a challenge, especially at that angle. Look at that insane angle of the nose. There's like some foreshortening happening, and it's very cool. Oh, this portrait is full of really cool angles. Very challenging for the brain, because the brain wants you to do certain things, but your eyes know better, as you know, guys, right? Your eyes know better than to listen to the brain when we draw, correct? Oh my gosh, Blanca, you're here? Hi, Blanquita, you're here, Blanca Sanchez. I can't believe you made it. This is awesome. Tell me, Blanca, are you in Texas or are you in New Jersey? I would love to know. Blanca was one of my students. Oh my gosh. 2010 you graduated, so 2006 to 2010 you were my student. Right? Crazy. We're going way back, Blanca and me. Way back. Okay, how about this? Again, relying on the darker parts of the face, okay? Yes. Rick, it's good that you will always be looking for people using your reference photos. You are such a gift to us here at Sketchy when it comes to reference photos. You're just like a never-ending well of inspiration. And for that we the artists, the students, yeah, we thank you. So Blanca, you are in Texas. Cool. I'm so glad that you could join, because there's a little bit of a time change, right? How far is it? 2 hours behind us in New Jersey, Blanca? I'm wondering. Okay. I'm chatting and I'm not moving too fast with this face here, so I'm going to start making some strokes that are going to define the shape of the head a little better. Are you ready? So wherever I see values, wherever I see dark, that's where I'm going, okay? And Jean-Pierre, where am I from? Originally from France. I don't want to have an accent when I speak English. I always think that I don't, but people just always find me, you know? They're like, hey, you have an accent. Wah, wah. I don't really want to have an accent, but I guess I can't help it. Yeah, French. Okay. Jean-Pierre, do you have Haitian roots by any chance? Because Jean-Pierre is a very Haitian name. I could be wrong. But I've had students with the last name Jean-Pierre in the past. Okay. And they were from Haiti. See, I'm adding a little bit of value here. Okay. Oh, Blanca, you are 1 hour behind. I was wrong by saying 2 hours. So when you come back to New Jersey, I hope I can see you. Okay. Let me try to move forward because I usually end these live drawings and I don't finish what I want to finish. And do you remember that the reason why we're here, it's because of beards. And I want to get to that at some point, right? At some point before this live ends. Because what's the point otherwise? Okay, so I'm moving right down the side of Jean-Pierre's head here. Okay. Marcel, thank you. I don't think you Dutch or Dutch-speaking people have horrible accents, Marcel. I don't think that's true. I lived in Belgium for a while, and I can tell you that that Dutch or what is it, Flemish, right? Nederland accent is horrible. On the contrary, well, I love accents, so you won't hear me complain. I just don't like mine. Of course. Oh, Alberto, okay, I have a quick question from Alberto about predefined brush I use the most in Procreate. I would say when I really tackle a drawing, 6B pencil. 6B pencil, Alberto. This is my go-to brush in Procreate. Love 6B pencil. It is really as close as I can get to the kind of pencil I'm holding in my hand right now. Very versatile. Even though it is 6B, or it says it's 6B in Procreate, it's as versatile, in my opinion, as this 2B that I'm using right now. Okay. Okay, ooh, what a nice little side conversation we're having, Jean-Pierre. So you are Spanish, Panamanian roots, but your father speaks French. Oh, that's so cool. So your father probably dug the name Jean-Pierre, and I just lost your reference photo, which is not really helpful for me. Ah, here we go. Interesting. So Jean-Pierre, you have a Francophile father. I love that. I don't know if you guys heard of the sad news that we were hit by in France this week. We lost a former president of ours, Jacques Chirac, a couple of days ago. It was on Thursday morning, I believe. Passed away. Well liked. Even if you were not of that political camp, you could appreciate his personality. Yeah, it was a sad day in France. Okay. It's moving right along, guys. It's moving right along, I promise. Look at that. Okay, how are we doing? Those of you who are drawing with me, are you doing all right? Yes? Okay. The big thing that you see in front of me here as I draw is my camera. That's the camera that films what I'm drawing as I'm drawing it. And it is really a cool little camera, but it does take up quite a bit of space in front of my face as I draw. But oh well, right? Okay. And yes, with these kinds of angles, Jean-Pierre is pointing out something very, very real, which is a problem of, you know, proportions and also where things are. Because suddenly at this weird angle, it is a weird angle, let's call it weird, it's very unusual. We are used to having, you know, a face being a certain way, but the moment you tilt your face, you're going to have some foreshortening happening. And at that point, it affects the distance between things. So for example, a nose is going to be much shorter. And the distances that we're used to, for example, the length of a forehead is going to be shorter too. Okay. Ute, you remember Jacques Chirac as being, yeah, one of the builders of the EU, right? Me too. Definitely a pro-Europe person. I'll always remember back in when was Maastricht? I think it was 1991, maybe? 1990. he said, urging people to vote yes for the Maastricht Treaty, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right because it's actually a Dutch name. He said, we build nothing on fear. And phew, I thought that was so true. Not just politically, economically, but personally. We just don't build anything on fear. That's for sure. Okay, I'm done with my minute of philosophy, guys. Okay, I promise. Okay, what do you think? Do you see Jean-Pierre appearing here? Okay. Rick, I'm so glad you could make it, and I'm sorry you have to work today. Let me see if I've got this right. But I'm glad you could make it, even for a few minutes. Thanks, Rick. Bye. It's amazing the bonds that we can create with people that we never meet in person or that we haven't met yet, which is the case for Rick and myself. There is a bond. This bond was created through Sketchy, and even more so now with the help of Sketchy Art School, where you just meet people and you don't actually meet them in person, and yet those bonds are real. I mean, the bonds that we create through art are real. Oh, Marcel, did I pronounce Maastricht correctly? I didn't think so. And T.N., I really don't want to see you go away from the EU. But some people have decided so. And I just, wow. I'm still blown away by this. Still blown away. I'm such an EU supporter myself. I voted yes on all the things, all the pro-union thing. Okay. Jean-Pierre, do I use a specific cross-hatching technique? No, mine is called total anarchy. I'm saying this a little facetiously, but not so much. I'm not joking. I go with what the shape of the face tells me. So my technique is to always follow the shape of the face. Let me show you what's about to happen right here. Cross-hatching has more to do with sculpting than anything else. And for that reason, I always cross-hatch where the volume is, okay? So, for instance, here, you've got the roundness of your face here. That's how I cross-hatch, sort of following that curve, the curve of the face. You see what I'm doing? And that's how it goes. So, okay, saying that it's complete anarchy is an exaggeration, but it's also very much on feeling and on building volume, like a sculptor does. Or at least what I suspect a sculptor does. Okay. And those values, via cross-hatching, I always come back and add more. Always come back and add more. Always. Okay, going inside the eye here. Okay. Ah, Robin, you're here. Hi. Okay. Robin and his super cool ballpoint pen skills. Jeez. Have you ever seen his work? Let me show you Robin Hilthouse. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Yeah, it is really sculpting, isn't it? It's bringing shapes onto the paper. There's no other way to explain cross-hatching to me. You're just bringing volume. Creating 3D basically on a 2D platform. Creating the illusion. of 3D-ness. How about that for a made-up word? Okay. Jean-Pierre, your face is coming together. Thank you, Blanca, for your comment about the technique. You know, it's not that I ever knew that it was on point, but it just feels right. When it's done right, it feels right. So I just go with that most of the time. Did you notice that I'm twisting my pencil around also? I'm twisting it this way and that way. The reason why I do this is because I can get a sharp edge on this lead so that it's not just the dull part of it, because even at its dullest, it's still not very dull. But what this does is it allows me to add a little bit of cross hatching just in the right places, you know. I could do this here too, so by using the sharp side of it, tack, boom, okay. And here's the thing. Okay. And yes, Robin is absolutely right. It is really about building layer upon layer. You come back and add more, and you come back and add more. Evelyn, if you go too dark in cross hatching, how to correct? That's the problem. And that's why the building has to be a fairly slow process, a slow and careful process, so that once you've added that dark cross hatching, there's really no going back, even in pencil. I mean, even if I tried to bring my eraser in this area, Evelyn, I don't think it would work. So I try to build those values slowly but surely. Okay, underneath the eye right now. Here it's fairly dark. Okay. Eyelashes. I'm not hesitant to add quite a bit of pressure here because I'm seeing quite a bit of dark values underneath the eye and right there as well. Look at that. Okay. Oh my gosh, Marcel, the twist erase are not available in Holland. Ooh, how about ordering online on Amazon? Because I order everything on Amazon. Now, of course, it's from the American website, but that's how I get all my supplies. Because I don't really have any art supply stores nearby. And if I had to schlep every time, it's a bit of a schlep to go to an art store from here. So I buy everything online. Okay, how about this? Ladies and gentlemen, we are building a nose. Best way we can. By sort of throwing out the window everything we thought a nose looked like and just going with what the photo tells us. That's what I'm trusting right now. My eyes, not my brain. Remember, the brain, ooh, it can lead you astray. Okay, let me speed things up here a little bit. All right. And did you notice that I'm using this piece of paper so I do not smear everything I've drawn too much? Okay, let's see if I've got the shape of the face right. I think so. A little bit of dark here. And the facial hair starts right about here. Okay, and it goes down about this way. Yeah. Okay, so now I am adding Jean-Pierre's facial hair to the drawing. Okay. Yeah, tea, and I can relate. The Koh-i-no are some of my favorite things too. Look, I've got this one, the Versatile, 5359, and this carries a very thick lead that I absolutely love. I love when it gets dull and you can really cover a lot of ground. Love this brand. And I believe it's Dutch, but I could be wrong. Oh no, Czech. I believe someone corrected me once and told me it was a Czech brand. I could be wrong. This is out of memory. Okay. Adding more and more values here, and now bringing in the facial hair. Now we're not in the beard yet, but we are not far. So what I use here to show either mustache or beard is I'm not using straight line, I'm just like going very squiggly, squiggly. And this is a fairly dark area, so I go dark. It links right back here. But here's the thing that I absolutely loved about this reference photo is that, let me just erase a little bit, I think I went a little too far here, I'm losing track. That's better. Okay. Jean-Pierre has a little bit of dark in the beard, a little bit of dark, but also a little bit of white hair, and we're going to address that. Okay, Blanca, what are you asking me? When did you start using the paper to prevent smearing? Right when I think I was starting to go in the northeastern part of the face here, right? And I knew that I had to then go here, so I knew I needed to cover that area. Yeah, absolutely. And how do you decide on the size of a drawing? Well, let's see. I like a drawing to fit on a piece of paper, so I try to keep it right at about that scale. And also when I do a live drawing like this, I want to make sure that I get everything done within the hour. And so it needs to be not too big, because if it's too big, that hour goes by and there's no way I can finish. Okay. All right, so remember that at Sketchy now there is a new group that got created. If you look underneath the video that's happening right now, underneath the video there is a link. There's a link to my beards class, which in my opinion is pretty great if you ask me. Well, I love drawing beards. You know, this whole Drawing with France series, there's drawing eyes, drawing glasses, drawing wrinkles, right? And now drawing beards. So this class, now drawing beards, is in the continuation of this series, Drawing with France. And well, there's a new one in the works right now for October, which you will see. But the beauty now, we have this group called Drawing with France at Sketchy Art School that you can join, whether you have joined my classes before or whether you want to join classes in the future. We can all meet in that spot, which is my spot. It's the spot where you can chat with me and you can ask me all kinds of questions, and we can share the artwork and talk a little bit more in depth than what we are so used to doing, let's say on Instagram, for instance. This is really a place for exchanging ideas. So look underneath this particular video. There is a link for Drawing with France group at Sketchy Art School. It's entirely free. Anybody can join. And this is a place where you can chat about drawing. And really, it's a great I was going to say a support group, but this is really a great way to motivate each other to keep a healthy drawing habit every day, you know? So yeah, join it. Avery, you are here. Hi. Oh, it's so cute when you call me Madame Vanstone because I'm not used to being Madame Vanstone when I do sketchy things. But Avery is one of the students that I had for 2 years, and I don't have you this year, but I really enjoy seeing your photographs on Instagram. Bonjour, Avery, and thanks for being here. Okay, I need to continue because guess what? Look at my face. I have not even tackled the area of the jaw. Come on, madame, let's go, right? Let's go. So I am doing the corner of the nose. Jean-Pierre, I really hope you can see yourself in this particular drawing. I think I see you. I think I've got a Jean-Pierre in the works here. I think I do. All right. Okay. So the moment of truth, of course, is when the mustache links with the beard, right? Ooh, there's a shadow here that's really interesting to draw. It's pretty frank. Look at that. Love this kind of stuff. I live for these kinds of shadows. When you can make them appear and make them look real, oh, what a great time that is. It's a great time to draw. Okay, so Jean-Pierre, I'm now going to dig in. So as I'm doing this mustache, right, that goes down this way, I believe. Okay, I am not going to super darken it because it's got a few hints of dark hair. I always say dark hair when I want to say gray hair. It's got a few hints of gray. And I'm leaving the gray out by not drawing them. You see what I mean? The gray is basically negative space, if you're following me here. Okay? Alberto, thank you for joining the group. And yes, finishing is overrated. We're here to learn. When I started drawing, I started drawing with the idea of learning something. Okay, like for example, this particular portrait of Jean-Pierre is teaching me a thing or two about those dimensions and, perspective, right? I'm definitely being challenged from a perspective point of view. And look, I may not get everything right, but I'm learning. And whether I'm finishing this drawing or not, I'm going to learn something today. And frankly, that's all that is about. Okay, shaping the mouth now. Making sure I am actually doing this right. Yes, I think I am. Okay. Yeah. Looks about right. Okay. Everything is at an angle, so everything that you think you know about drawing a face, a frontal view, just has to go out the window. Okay. All right. Oh, Christopher McKay from Canada, New Brunswick. You are asking me, you always seem to start with the eyes. Is that intentional or am I imagining it? You're not imagining, Chris. This is always where I start because, again, this is where first of all, it anchors a face, in my opinion. It anchors a portrait. It makes a portrait much more realistic when the eyes are done right. So I spend the time on that. And also, this is where the darkest dark usually is. So once I've got that down, I feel safer going anywhere else. Does that make sense? So once I've set the darkness of the eyes, then I'm good. I can breathe and I can just continue with the rest, right? That's how I feel about it. So always starting with the darker values first and then moving to where the lighter is. This is dark. There's a line here. A little bit. Oof, maybe I made it a little too stark. Oh, maybe not. Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, even though I'm still on the upper lip, I am going to move very quickly into the mouth, the underneath the mouth area, and then into the beard. Look, this is just going to take place fairly quickly because now things are dark and quick. Thank you for your question, Chris. I hope I answered it. And Jean-Pierre, you're welcome. Jean-Pierre, I like pronouncing the word Jean-Pierre. I know a bunch of Jean-Pierre, by the way, having grown up in France. Okay, so now I am still in a dark spot where the hair is fairly dark, but then slowly moving into where the beard is lighter. So take a look. Let me check the time. Do I have time? Yeah, maybe I can do this in 15 minutes. Okay, when the beard has gray hair in it, you are going to find yourself having to work in negative space, meaning not drawing where those light hair, the light hair is, I should say, if I spoke proper English. Okay, so what you do is you go lighter, okay, like here. This is an area where gray hair is. So I'm going much lighter and only adding a little bit of black hair to indicate that this is still, the beard. And now for the shape of the beard itself, I believe I'm safe by going in this direction, yes. So I'm not filling in much wherever I see the lighter hair. Ooh, I still have to do a little bit of the ear. But hopefully you can live with this being still a little bit unfinished. Because what truly matters to me is how I'm going to tie this whole beard together here. Okay, I seem to be doing all right on this side. Beard connects to the hair up here, right? Okay. All right, Rosa, I know you like using a clipboard under your drawing pages. How do you approach that when using a small sketchbook? Ha! That's easy. Rosa, what I do is I use either a smaller clipboard or I use the same clipboard and I put it right underneath the page that I'm drawing on. So the question is about what happens when you draw in a sketchbook, right? So I use the clipboard and I just put it right underneath the page that I draw on. I've done this for years. In all my moleskins, all my Stillman and Burns, I use a clipboard underneath the page. And that's really the only way to keep things somewhat hard underneath. Okay? Okay. Ute, you're making such a good point. I think by challenging our brain so much by tackling a drawing at such an unusual angle, we are really encouraging the brain to quietly sit in the background and not bother us while our eyes are doing the job. You know what I mean? I think that's absolutely true what you're saying. It turns off the brain even more because then you really rely on eyes only. You know this exercise, maybe some of you have done it. I've certainly done it in the past, where you draw someone, right? You draw a portrait, but instead of drawing them like this, you actually flip the photo around, so it's upside down, and you're also drawing upside down, so that you do not at all rely on your preconceived knowledge of what a face should be. And there's something to be said about that. I love that kind of exercise. You can do that in blind contour too. So good point, Ute. I'm going to keep your comment up for a little while because I think you are absolutely right about that. Okay, the beard is going to go a little fast, and I'll tell you why. Because we are using a lot of negative space to create the whitish grayish hair, right? Okay, let's see. I hope I'm getting the neck right. The neck is also at, oh, it's such a cool angle. Look at that. Ta-da, it goes like this. I think I'm just about right by drawing the neck like this, right? Okay. Okay. And continuing now with the dark and the less dark. So now my pencil is just going to go back and forth between applying pressure and not. So in the beard itself, okay, here it's a little dark. Underneath the beard, it's dark. Because of course the light source doesn't reach there, right? So what's going on now is I am not using cross-hatching to get into the beard. I am using more of a squiggly approach, which really allows me to move faster and create this illusion of facial hair. I'm always seeing things that I always want to go back to. It's irresistible. Okay, what do you think? Do you think it's looking like Jean-Pierre? Because now Jean-Pierre is getting facial hair. Okay. And I am showing the beard, but I am also holding back a little bit and with a little bit of restraint so that the lighter hair can come through a little bit, okay? And here I did not worry too much about the ear because frankly it's not the point of today. So I am just worried about making this beard look like a beard. How about this? Yeah? Okay, let's establish how the neck works here. I think we have a line kind of going in that direction, and that's going to be dark. Okay, so I'm darkening away where I see dark, and I'm leaving things light where they're light, okay? Okay. Ooh, I have a question here from Maryland. I love these sessions so much. I don't want to make more work for you, but could we get the reference photos earlier? And earlier meaning, oh, meaning before the broadcast. I'm sure we could. I mean, I don't see why not. Maybe for the next one, I will put the reference photo that I will be working on Sketchy Art School. Would that sound good? I think that's a very good approach. That way you guys can see in advance what photo I'm using. Why not? I like that. I like that idea, and I think I'd like to do that. Okay, look, I'm going all squiggly here in the beard, going from dark to a little bit lighter because there's gray hair in this beard, right? It wouldn't be as interesting if it weren't a little bit gray. I agree. I think it's more interesting because it's got gray. And then to create the illusion of hair, every now and then bring in just a little bit of dark, okay? Good, so according to Sketchy, we can do that. That's great. Okay. D. Wade, you would like to see a biro? I think that's how you pronounce this. You mean a ballpoint, right? Call them big pens. You would like to see or is it biro? Biro? Biro. I don't even know. Version of this. I would love to do this in pen. Oh my gosh. I would love to. That would be my pleasure. Okay, that might be something for me to do soon. Okay. So, Rosa, your question is so crucial. You are struggling with proportions when it comes to a weird angle like this, right? Such an unusual angle. Ideally, I should draw some guidelines, right? So lines that go one way this way, one way that way, so that you can see that on this line, oh, look, as it turns out, the ear is right at the same height as, let's say the end of the nose here. A lot of people do that. I keep those lines mental. They're in the back of my mind. They're there. It's almost as though I saw them as I draw. So they are there for me, those lines. But they're just not drawn out. So what I suggest is that you actually draw them out. So for example, draw a line this way, draw a line that way, and see where the edges of things relate to those lines. And this is the best thing to do. People grid things also. I never gridded my drawings, but I know that it works for a lot of people. The idea that everything fits in little squares, really. And it's a really helpful tip for people. I've never done it. I've never gridded a drawing, but I know that it works for a lot of people who learn to draw. And by the way, let me tell you right away that the reason why I never gridded, it's for no other reason than laziness, okay? Just don't think that I'm above this or anything like that. No, I just I just think, if I just kind of eye it, it's going to work. And it usually does, and that's how I've been kind of operating all these years. Okay. I'm not going to get into the ear when really I should be finishing this beard. Focus. Focus, France. Focus on that beard. Because otherwise my pencil will wander, Okay, so look, that beard has some gray in it. It has even some white hair in it. And I'm making that appear by not drawing, okay? If this were digital, that would be easy. I would darken everything at once and then add the light, but that's different. We don't have that at hand. We only have a pencil. Okay, we are reaching the end of this drawing, but not quite, because I also have Jean-Pierre's neck here, okay? All right. What do you think? Does it seem right? Okay, let me put this here. Okay. Okay. Ooh, I have. Oh my gosh, this is great. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Ben, can your next sketch be of the fountain of youth that you drink from? You're funny. Uh, okay. I don't know what fountain of youth I drink from. I'm sure you drink from the same, Ben. So good to see you here, though. I'm glad that you and Blanca are following along. This is great. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben was my student. Okay, when were you my student, Ben? 2001, 2002? Does that sound about right? Morris Hills High School? Yeah, I think that's right. 2001, 2002, or maybe 2000, 2001. So, not to scare anybody, but that was 19 years ago, 18, 19 years ago. Yeah. Okay, what do you think? Do we have a beard here or what? Did you notice how quickly the beard went? Okay. The beard went really fast compared to the rest of the face because, frankly, your beard is not as delicate to draw as, let's say, light and volume on a forehead. Okay, I think we are reaching the end here. We've been together for an hour. What I'd like you to do now, because we have this new space, right, called Drawing with France on Sketchy Art School. The link is right below the video. What I'd like you to do is post what you drew if you drew along with me today. I'm going to post this right there, and we can talk about what you found challenging about this drawing and what you found comfortable, okay? So, oh, and the cameras that I'm using, Bob, I have a good question here. The camera that I'm using here is a document camera. I can also add that on Sketchy Art School. I think that might be a good thing for me to do, talk to you about my material, okay? So, Bob, if you come to Sketchy Art School, Drawing with France, the whole new group that we have, which is right underneath this video. The link is there. You can join, and I will give you the details on the material that I'm using. I'm very happy about this camera, and I'm really happy about the lighting that we had today. What do you think? No artificial light. It was all light from my window, and gosh, what a good time. This was fun. Okay, guys, what do you think? Yes? Do we have a face? I think we have a face. I think we have a face, and it's Jean-Pierre's face, and we have a beard. No, not everything is finished. Did you know this? I didn't go into the detail of the lower lip or the ear, but you guys can kind of fill that in with your brain, right? Okay, so Ute, thank you. It was great for me too. And oh, thank you, Chris. I really love doing these live drawings. They're so much fun. But I have to say goodbye because the hour is pretty much over. And yeah, I'm gonna post this in Sketchy Art School, right in the group that's now called Drawing with France. So join the group, join me, we can chat, and I can also give you feedback on what you drew today, or maybe when you draw it later. That's perfect. Jean-Pierre, thank you for your face. Thank you for this interesting angle that you gave us. And I'm about to say goodbye, so thanks for joining me. I hope you drew along. Let's go to Sketchy Art School. Let's go to Drawing with France, the new group, and we're going to be able to chat there. Okay, I'm about to finish, so big kisses to everybody. Gros bisous, as we say in French. Thank you for being here today, and I'll see you again for another live session, I'm sure very soon. Okay, ciao everyone. Thank you for being here. Bye.